Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I hope everyone who's tuning in today is doing super fantastic. Before I get into this episode, I do want to say make sure you're following me on my socials at a Tall Girls podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest so that you can stay up to date on all of the latest podcast episodes and catch a glimpse of my everyday life. Also, feel free to leave me a review and let me know how tall you are. I'm genuinely curious. Everything is going to be linked in the description. So I'm officially a college graduate? What? Well, by the time this episode is up, I'll officially be a college graduate. Today, I'm recording this on a Sunday. As you could probably tell by now, my recording days are Sunday. But I had my first graduation on this past Thursday, but I have my next graduation in 2 days on Tuesday. Yes, I have two graduations. A little bit confusing, especially when I explain to people that I'm technically graduating twice. Well, actually graduating 3 times by the time Tuesday is over. It's confusing. Okay, I will be explaining the whole multiple graduation thing in a few, okay? Because this is going to be a Q&A and life updates or whatever episode. I'll be explaining that in a few. But I figured, I haven't done a Q&A life update episode in a long time. Probably the last time I did it was last year, and we're about halfway through 2024. And on top of that, me just hitting this big milestone and graduating from undergrad, it's kind of like I'm required to do a Q&A life update episode. So I asked you guys over on Instagram via polls, via notes, like all these new Instagram features out here. I'm trying to use them so I can, I don't know, see how they work, see what works for me. But I did notes and I did polls over on the stories. I didn't even have to do all of that because when I posted like the videos and the pictures on my Instagram stories of me graduating, you guys automatically DM'd me congratulations and a bunch of questions after that. So all of those questions that you guys asked over on Instagram is what I'm going to be answering in this episode. And because many of you guys also asked similar questions, I'm going to be doing it kind of by topic in a way, instead of asking each individual question so it's not repetitive. Before I get into answering these questions, I do just want to say briefly, thank you so much for all of the congratulations and the well wishes and all of your responses over on Instagram. I'm feeling the love, I'm feeling the appreciation, and I'm honestly very thankful for that. You guys have been here for, wow, I started this podcast literally summer of junior year. I started this like towards the end of my sophomore year, and to basically make it all the way till senior year with you guys has been like a 2.5, 3 year journey. It's just honestly insane to me. And I'm just grateful that you guys got to see me grow, got to see me through my ups and downs, and giving me advice from time to time through my DMs. And I just want to say thank you so much for being there with me and for me every step of the way and any way you guys could. I really do appreciate you guys. Now I'm going to be spilling what's going to be happening in the next few months, what's going on, what I've been doing, what I'm thinking, and this and that and the other. So get ready as we go into the first question. Now that I've graduated, many of you guys have asked, what's next? And my answer to that is, what isn't next? There are so many possibilities out there for me. There's so many plans that I have. There's just a lot that's going to be happening, and I'm excited for it. And the thing is, there's so many things that I have thought of to do. There's so many things that I've wanted to do in my last year, specifically in my senior year, but I've had to wait up until this point till I've graduated to be able to do those things because, going to school full time, that takes up a lot of my time. And then on top of that, I had this hour and a half, practically 2 hour commute half the time. And it's just hard to be able to balance everything. But now that I don't have to worry about that for the next few months, I'm able to actually put these things into action. So as many of you guys probably know, I am a freelancer. I am a freelance content marketer, and I've been doing that since my sophomore year, but that was after I started this podcast. I started this podcast first, and then I eventually became a freelancer a few short months after that. And, I've been consistently like working with the same people, for the past like few years. And, there's just this level of trust that's there that it seems like they want to keep me on. And I think I'm going to keep doing that. Well, I don't think, I know I'm going to keep doing that. And they want to give me more responsibility. So I definitely want to take on that responsibility and to learn more and to grow more in my career. So I have a lot of plans to learn a lot within marketing. I'm especially going to be doing certifications. I'm going to be taking courses. There's a lot of things that I'm going to be doing within that realm in these next few months. And also, I will be going to grad school. So I'm actually going to be taking a break. I'm not going right away. I would have actually had to apply by by May. And that was just not going to work out for me. I decided that trying to apply for graduate school and work and do this podcast and school, it wasn't going to work out well for me. So I've decided also that it would be best for me to take a semester off. So I will not be going to school for the rest of this year, taking a break to learn more in the field of marketing, learn more about what I want to do, and, actually take a break. And during that time, I will be applying to graduate school. I want to be a brand manager. That's the ultimate goal. I want to have my own branding agency. That is the dream. And I am going to be taking little steps now, little actions to be able to get to that point. And I think that graduate school is a great networking opportunity for me and also a great place for me to learn as well as gain access to resources that I would otherwise not have if I weren't there. So for grad school, I'm really only applying to like 3 or 4 schools, not too many. And I want to go the brand management and international business and or brand management, marketing, international business realm. Okay. I'm going to be providing more updates with that as time goes on so you guys can stay up to date with it because I'm not going to lie to you. Even right now, the picture really isn't that clear, but anything relating to brand management, marketing, or international business, that's like what I'm currently exploring and that's what I'm going to be applying to. And in terms of where I end up, we'll see. Future India will let you know about that. And also, I will be taking a trip. I am going to London. It is official. I've been asking, well, from time to time, I've been asking questions about, yeah, like, is $2,100 too expensive to pay for a hotel? But then again, it is London and it's literally summer. Obviously, everything is going to be more expensive. But I've been dropping little tiny hints that I was going to be going somewhere and it's official. Hotel is paid, flight is paid. Like we're literally going to London in 3 weeks. June 17th is when I leave. So I'm going with my mom. And actually, one of you guys over on my Instagram lives in London and was like, yeah, like if you pull up, just let me know. I could show you around. And I'm like, girl, please. Thank you. Needed that. And I was supposed to let her know if that was actually going to happen. I didn't, but I will be letting her know in the next few days that this is real and this is officially going to happen. So if you guys have been to London or if you guys live in London and there are places, that me as an American tourist should see or me as an American tourist should know, especially about public transportation, please give me tips, give me places, give me ideas. My DMs are open. Just feel free to hit me up and let me know. I'm super excited about that. And make sure you follow me on my socials because I will also be posting about that trip as well. Before I continue, I would like to give a shout out to Karai for sponsoring today's episode. To my long torso girlies out there, your cries and complaints have been heard because this brand is the solution you've been longing for. Karai is your go-to destination for stunning bodysuits designed specifically for women with long torsos. So say goodbye to awkward fits and constant readjustments and hello to flawless style, comfort, and the perfect fit. Make sure you check them out at wearekarai.com and @wearkarai on Instagram. They'll be linked in my description and let's go. #LongTorsoGang. Now for the question that I was talking about earlier, why 2 graduations? Let me explain. So I technically go to 2 schools, but hear me out. So I go to a CUNY, the City University of New York. But when I applied, there was this honors program, technically an honors college. It's like a literal separate college. However, it's connected to the CUNY system. So think of it as you're in a school. Let's say I'm in a CUNY school. There are different honors programs. I am one of the honors programs. I was, because I graduated. I was in one of the honors programs for that particular school that I went to. But the unique thing about that honors program and is that it's literally a separate college. Like it's an honors college. So it's honors program, but with its own building, if that makes sense. So because I attend that honors college, I applied for that honors college. I am a student at that. I was. See, I got to get used to that now. I was a student at that honors college. It literally has its own building. I would go there for events. I would go there for performances and stuff. I technically was also supposed to take classes there. There's 4 seminar classes that I had to take there for my minor that we don't talk about because I didn't choose that minor, but it's a minor that I technically have. But seminar classes for the minor that I had for that honors college. I technically was supposed to do that, but the pandemic, COVID, everything was shut down. I took that online. So I never actually took those classes at that honors college, but I've been to that honors college before. So technically I'm a student at that college, but because they don't have actual majors, like me being an entrepreneurship major, just because they don't have those majors like accounting, finance, art history, English, stuff like that, like they don't have actual majors there, I have to go to the CUNY to take classes for my major. But because I'm registered classes there, that college, that CUNY sees me as a student there as well. So I was also technically a student at that college. So honors college is where I'm actually a student at. And then by default, the CUNY sees me as a student there because I took classes for my major at that college. So I have the graduation from that honors college, which you guys have seen last Thursday. And then I have the graduation for this CUNY, which is coming up this Tuesday, or this past Tuesday. Does that make sense? So I technically go to 2 colleges. So I have 2 graduations, which I honestly deserve because I didn't have a proper high school graduation. So not complaining about that. And then there's like that little third graduation as well. They have like special little groups within the school that host their own graduations because at the actual CUNY's graduation, we don't walk across the stage. So you have like these little groups or whatever, like clubs and such that had their own little graduations where you could actually walk across the stage and get your name called. So that was the third graduation that I attended earlier last week. So my point here is multiple colleges, multiple graduations. If you're still confused about that, you could just hit me up and ask me, and I'll try my best to re-explain that to you. And shockingly enough, people asked if I wore heels to my graduation and if I was the tallest person there. Yes, of course, I wore heels to my graduation. I'm a big advocate for literally anyone, especially tall people, to wear heels. But I was not the tallest one there. Well, to be fair, the heels weren't even really that high. They were only 2-inch block heels because I didn't want to go that crazy. I think my biggest fear was walking across that stage and falling flat on my face. And because I have long legs, that is more likely to happen. So I decided to get heels that were on the shorter side and even practiced in them just to make sure. Because heels and I are not the best of friends. And I honestly didn't mind not being the tallest one out there. But don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my height. I love standing out from the crowd, but blending in from time to time is also kind of nice. And some of you guys have also asked about what's going to happen with this podcast. Even though I've graduated and I'm entering full-fledged adulthood, A Tall Girls Podcast is here to stay. Like, y'all are not getting rid of me. Literally, let me stop. But I will be continuing to do this podcast, okay? I am not going anywhere anytime soon. This podcast is literally my pride, my joy, my baby. There are a lot of things that I want to do with the Tall Girls Podcast. I want to do more interviews with tall clothing business owners and tall creators. Maybe even start a newsletter, hint, hint. Maybe some merch. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of projects that I want to work on. There's a lot I've thought about in the past few months, actually, in terms of the content that I want to produce, not just for this podcast, but also for my social medias as well. There's just a lot of things that I've been thinking about, and I want to try them out and see how they will work for me, if they will work for me, if they will also work for you guys, because you guys are also a big part of this, and just see what happens from it. I feel like everything is worth a try. So I want to try it out, and I want to make it, like an actual thing. Like I want to actually make this, this podcast look is a thing, but you know what I mean. I want to make this like a thing. But now that school is over and I'm not going to be going back for the next couple of months, I have the opportunity to just really be able to focus on this. And for the last question that many people have asked, do I have any doubts and concerns? Oh, 110%. I honestly don't know what graduate doesn't have any doubts or concerns about their future. I mean, we're entering this very new chapter in our lives, and it's kind of hard to not be like, am I going to be okay? Am I going to survive? And, I've decided that I'm going to tell myself what I tell the tall girl community. Everything is going to be okay. Just have that confidence in yourself that you will do just fine and everything is going to work out. Especially with school being such a big part of my identity, I know that it's going to be kind of hard to switch from that or take that shift from that part of my life. And I know it's going to take a lot of time, but there's going to be a lot of things I'm going to have to work through in terms of like slight post-grad anxiety and also anxiety revolving around exams and homework and stuff, because there's going to be moments like, oh my gosh, and I have homework to do, oh my gosh, isn't there a test? Like, girl, you literally graduated 2 months ago, what are you doing? So I know that there's going to be a lot to work through with that, but I think that in the 6 months that I have off, in order to really focus on myself and focus on my life, I think that I will be okay. So yes, I do have some doubts and I do have some concerns, but honestly, I'm just not too worried about that. And I'm going to try my best in everything that I do. And I have faith that everything will fall into place. So, yeah, that's a little bit of the life updates and Q&A and stuff. I really do appreciate it if you made it to the end. I know that I rambled a lot in this episode, but you know what's great? Y'all asked and I gave, period. But if you have any other questions for me relating to what I'm going to be doing in my future or anything that I said in this episode, feel free to hit me up. All of my socials is going to be linked in the description anyway, so you can just click on it and head on over there. And I'm excited to see what this new chapter has. And I'm excited to bring you guys along with me. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Good night and goodbye.